Hi guys, I'm so excited to be with you here tonight. And the reason why is my first post went out tonight for PTSD Awareness Month and the talks that I'm putting together. So yeah, there's going to be every Friday in June from 7 till 8. I'm going to be online in conversation with different guests each week. And we're going to be talking from the perspective of post-trauma. And some of my guests have the diagnosis of PTSD, as do I. And they're going to be talking about their creative outlets. And we've all basically turned our creative outlets into part of how we work, our business and what we do in our lives. And so it's all about grounding our experiences and talking about coping mechanisms. We're not going to be talking about why we have PTSD. We're going to be talking about how we manage it. And so it's going to be, I think it'll be a real boost for people with PTSD because it's other people talking about it and sharing their creative outlets and their self-expression. And I think we talk and we hear a lot about, the challenging sides. And what we're going to be acknowledging is there's challenging sides, but you can really find yourself. And this is something we want to explore. Okay, so I'm going to be announcing my guests over the course of June. But just to give you a kind of idea for now, they're all going to have their own individual I'm going to announce. So you can see who they are, connect with them, think about, any questions you might have, because you can type them in and I'm going to do my best to read out questions while I'm in conversation or maybe at the end of the conversation. And yeah, I'm going to be talking to a fashion designer. And she is London based. She's had the diagnosis of PTSD as well. And I'm sure she wouldn't mind me telling you because she actually talks about it on her website. And as a fashion designer, her garments, it's fascinating because they have the mental health they have mental health and social issues as part of the context. So they really open up discussion. And it's just really fascinating to see how she processes and moves forward with PTSD. I've got one guest who I'm very excited about. He isn't actually diagnosed with PTSD. His connection, which I found really interesting, is that he realised an exhibition with the Institute of Mental Health. And it was basically every sitter, so he's a painter, and every sitter he painted had their own story of trauma and post-trauma. And what I found really exciting is, he had veterans, he had a new mother, a fireman, a musician. There was lots of different experiences. So I'm really excited to be able to talk to him and share his work with you and talk about how it can be, the healing process. I think, he's going to hopefully be able to tell us a bit more about what it was like for his sitters and how they felt realizing a painting of their experience. I've actually watched some videos of some of the people who he worked with, and they, I don't want to say too much, but let's put it this way, they found it an immensely touching and healing experience. So I'm really excited. I have some more guests to announce as well. So I'm just going to hold back on that and let you know, as things develop. But as we're still in May, this is just a, hey guys, this is what's going on. And so that I can then start introducing you to people. Okay, so that's every Friday. It's going to be at 7 till 8. and it's going to be very laid back. So, you know, it's going to be me having a chat with my guest, and we're going to be sharing a lot, you know. So yeah, I think it you know, hopefully it'll be really interesting to listen to, and a bit of lived experience is going to be, you know, discussed. And I think that's really actually could be a real boost with people with for people with PTSD, because it's like, oh wow, you know, they've got that diagnosis as well. And we're not sitting there saying you've got a diagnosis, therefore you must process it in this way, or, you know, you can feel absolutely, you know, you can have really dreadful days, we all do. It's not that what we do means that we are impervious to these things. It just gives us that direction and grounding and place to express, and that ultimately is where you can create the joy and, you know, connections with other people. So I think we're just you know, we're opening up that side. And I think also we live with PTSD. We're not always down, we're not always depressed, and we don't want people to think that we are. You know, there's times when we're writing and painting and creating and building and planting, and where we're, you know, that's where we can find a sense of harmony with the world, with the earth, with other people. Or we can find some solitude, but the solitude that we enjoy, that we find beneficial, because we're not thinking, we're, you know, we're doing and we're active. So that's hopefully what, you know, that's what I want, you know, to kind of bring across. Then on Sundays, I'm running a chill out session. So all of this is online, not just because I can't travel. No, but with PTSD, that's been my biggest issue. It's really isolated me. It's the reason why I am not working in the museums and galleries at the moment, you know. So actually moving forward, I would need to think about being an independent curator and writer. And this project has been really exciting for me because it's allowing me to touch that again. It's allowing me to feel it again. And instead of being part of an institution or a gallery, you know, as I can't travel, I really genuinely, because of hypersensitivity, London tubes, all of these things, the ability to connect online, the ability to present online, and the ability to maybe work with someone who's not in a busy central London area. We can bring them into the busy London central area, but it's not where our focus is. It's not where we're working. It's where we're presenting or exhibiting. So it's been quite exciting. You can probably tell I'm quite excited. But you know, it's really about people with PTSD talking to other people with PTSD. But you know, everyone's welcome. If someone else wants to come along, and, you know, for example, me and my brother, I live with my brother, he deals with this. Shouldn't laugh. He deals with my PTSD on a daily basis, because whether he can escape it or not by leaving the house, when he's with me, he's always like, okay, I can't drop this. If I drop something on the floor, I know what's going to happen. If I try and creep up behind, not even creep up, if I try and just walk past, she's like, ah! So I should really set up a support network. He should set up a support network. No, I should set up a support network for people who have to deal with people with PTSD. Not all of them. Some of them don't deal with us and they're really mean and they're not invited. But I mean people who really do look out for us, you know, friends, family members, etc., who actually do really make a difference. I think they need a support group. But, you know, anyway, I mentioned chill out and then I think I moved past, but what the chill out sessions are going to be, it's just like this, really. Hi guys, how do you feel? Are you all right? You know, and some people might just want to sit quietly. And you say we've got a little group here, you know, some of them might just want to literally have, you know, have their camera off, their microphone off and everything, and just kind of, you know, listen and just know that there's other people there, maybe talking about subjects that really, you know, capture their interest, but that they don't feel comfortable kind of jumping into, that's absolutely fine. If we don't mention PTSD once in a chill out session, that's also fine, you know. So it might just be that we want to like put on some music. I'll put on some music, and maybe, okay, this is the long shot, but maybe if anyone wants to do a little bit of, not fitness, like I won't get you jumping around the room, but you know, we could do a really nice stretch out. I don't want to do it in this jacket, it's a bit restrictive for the old, you know, I mean, I can do it, but it's got sequins on it, so it doesn't sound like it's a good idea. But yeah, you know, I'll wear something appropriate, and we can do, you know, stretching, some breathing, so we can do it seated, standing, and you know, just kind of relax. It's all about relaxing. It's not going to be about you know, and just knowing there's other people there. So you might have gone to the talk on Friday night and thought, oh, I'm excited, I want to do this, I want to do that, and it gets to Sunday and you're like, oh, I've had a really down day, and I don't know how I feel about anything. But if you come to the group, why don't you tell me that, and I can give you some words, you know, of encouragement. And I don't mean like, come on, you can do it. No, none of that. I mean, like, I do my own art and I go through my own depression. So I've got some tips of how you can pull yourself out, you know, not pull yourself out as in, oh, it's over. I mean, pull yourself out of that mindset and just focus on something else. You know, that's what I'm, you know, that's what I have to do. Every single day is every day is work in progress. But there are things that can stimulate you and give you a break. And so if you're feeling like I'm inspired, but I don't know what to do, come on Sunday and tell me. And it might be that, you know, I can't answer your question, but I can get hold of someone, one of my guests, who can answer that question, or who can kind of direct you in the right way, you know, in terms of that industry or that area. So yeah, so it is just meant to be enjoyable as much as possible. So that's the whole purpose. And yeah, I mean, I was thinking about it as well, because I don't know how much I'll be talking about my experience. Oh, that's not true. I'm actually doing PTSD Awareness Day, the 27th of June. So I will be talking about my experience. But what I would say, and I don't know if I've already said it because I can't remember. I've told you guys before, I quite like writing because I get to say, oh, I've already written that, right? Okay, take it out. Whereas I can't really do that. I don't edit the videos. I talk to you guys completely naturally. So there is no editing. So if I repeat, then it means that I've forgotten I said it earlier. Anyway, the point is, I suppose what I want to say is that, you know, I've become a lifestyle and fitness coach, and I may never work with someone with PTSD. You know, I'd love to, because not only could I help them with that area, the areas that I specialize in, but I have the empathy of being someone with the condition, working to ground the condition. So when people say to me, come on, you're doing so well, I'm just like, just back off, because I know that it could slip at any moment. And so I just need to do what I'm doing. I don't want to be constantly saying, you know, I don't need that kind of encouragement. I need something different. If that's the kind of encouragement that you need, that I can give that to you. but my point is, and I'm here for other people as well. So as I said, if I never worked with someone with PTSD, I can still, you know, very much work with people in fitness and decluttering and organising. And I can also do independent curating and writing, which is what I'm actually doing now to feed my art addiction. But I think the point is, the reason why I want to talk to you about my profession, and the reason why I want to introduce you to other people and talk about what they do, is because we have PTSD and this is part of our grounding. So as I was saying, like if I never worked with someone with PTSD, anyone that I work with, if I'm working with them in fitness, for example, and I'm hopping around with them, stretching, exercising, doing weights, all that stuff, I'm not only teaching them, but I'm also I'm managing my condition because that's what I need. If I'm working with someone decluttering and organizing, that is like, okay, yeah, no, all right, let's be honest, it's one of my compulsions. Not that everything has to be neat and straight and everything else, but it is my compulsion to, you know, if it doesn't belong there, if there's too much stuff, get rid. And I don't talk to clients like that. I'm not saying just come in and say, get rid of it. Because that's like going to someone with PTSD and say, get over it, you know, so that's not my attitude. I'm a collector. I would never tell you to get rid of everything. I would tell you to get rid of, anyway, let's not go into that. The point is when I talk about my profession with you, it's not like it's a business advert. It's actually, I mean, obviously, you know, if you want to work with me, that's fantastic. But it's also me telling you, look, I lost everything with this diagnosis because my life was in the city and my life was getting airplanes and going to other countries. And I can't do either of those things right now because of my hypersensitivity. It's too much. So if you don't like lifestyle pursuits, if you're not interested in fitness, you can still take something from what I'm saying, which is try and find something that means you can cope with you can manage your condition and you can express yourself. And that will be it will be healing. And it's also, as I say, managing. You know, if you're going to put yourself in a situation, I could throw myself into the city tomorrow. I could do an interview online, get a job at a museum. And how do I get there? Or I get there, but I have to take a lot of medication. I get to the other side, I'm like, oh my gosh, guys, you know, and they're like, what? That's not how you start a new job. Like, no, that's not how you want to start a new job. That's not how I want to present myself. You know, I can't just literally put myself in, you know, I could put myself in a taxi, but then when I get to the office and someone slams the door and I'm like, you know, what do they do with someone like me? I'm not, you know, people would say, oh, well, they should accept you as you are. I don't want to be the one. I don't want that. I don't need that. I don't need them to accept me. This is a disorder. Whereas when I'm doing something like fitness or decluttering and organizing, or when I'm meeting with an artist, so we're not sitting in an office for 8 hours a day, but I'm actually going to the studio or I'm going to meet them at a gallery, you know, and I can do it on my own time, it's on our terms. You know, or the artist might might live and do their work outside of London, so I can drive and get to them. You know, I can do things like that. And if we want to do a show or an exhibition in the centre of the city, you know, I know that I'm committing to so many days or weeks or months. I'm not saying I'm permanently here and, you know, I'm going to run around and do stuff, because my health wouldn't last so long. So, you know, I mean, I'm really excited about a project, an arts project that's going on in North London. So if those guys ever watch this, you know, I'm choosing galleries like that and museums and art centres which are nearer to where I live, because I can travel to you, and that makes a massive difference to me. And I'm also looking, you know, at working on projects with people which are 3 months, 6 months, because I can comprehend committing to that. I cannot comprehend to committing to a year, 2 years, or permanent. Whereas prior to PTSD, I wanted to be permanent. You know, I was at Tate Modern for 6.5 years. I was at White Cube for 4 years. I was at various other places, and you know, that I was there. I was committed. Whereas now, I'm like, it's too much for me to comprehend. So, you know, I think even if you don't do the same activities as me or my guests, just to see someone with PTSD be able to say, this helps, this works, this changed things a bit. You know, it might bring some comfort, some hope, some inspiration. You might be like, no, I don't agree with any of it. Tell me, just tell me, because we can't, you know, represent every single person's unique experience. But if you don't feel that, you know, you've seen a representation that you want to see, you can always tell me, and I can speak to more people, have more guests, not necessarily for June, but I mean in the future, you know. And this is all about us being connected and being aware amongst ourselves of what we can do. I mean, when I first developed PTSD as an adult, I was just, I didn't know what the hell was going on. I tried to live my old life. I tried to just go back and carry on, and I just, you know, fingers crossed, and it didn't work. So, you know, anyway, I don't know how long I've been talking, but I think, so anyway, so I've got my ribbon on. Yeah, it's my green ribbon. It's like, it's hard to see on the camera, it looks a bit messy, but actually it's quite pretty in real life. I tied it myself. So I did a one-handed tied of ribbon. So, you know, hang on a second. Oh, it looks really scruffy now. Oh no. Well, anyway, it looked really pretty earlier. And I've got my ribbon here as well. So, so we've got a lovely colour for PTSD, and you're going to see that as a running theme through the month with the things I put out. I have to say, I've probably said it before, but I'm super excited. This is our colour. For me, it's relaxing, it's beautiful, it reminds me of the sea and the sky, and so I was really excited. I go for it's a bit minty, so I think the official colour is teal, but that's basically greeny blue. So I go for some minty greeny blue. And before I even had PTSD, I had like my phone cover was minty blue, like minty green, minty blue. My hand fan that I take when I travel. And so I didn't know what our ribbon was when I first got PTSD. All I cared about was like how I was going to get through like my waking hours. But then when I looked and said, oh, do we have a ribbon? And I discovered it was this colour, it just made me feel happy. Okay, happy is a strong word. It did make me feel happy though. I was happy because what if it had been a colour I don't like? It would just been another blow, wouldn't it? I was like, okay, I can work with this. I love this colour so much. Anyway, yeah, so basically, if you can, let's meet each other, let's see each other in June. So we're going to have Fridays 7 till 8 where it's the talks, and then Sundays 7 till 8 where it's the chill out and the chats and just, you know, general stuff. And I'll be announcing details throughout June, keeping you up to date, and hopefully I'll be doing a video as well. And just to say, yeah, so you do need to reserve a place, but what you can do, so if you go onto All Silver Clouds website, it's allsilverclouds.com/blog, yeah, if you do /PTSD, then it will take you basically, so I've got a Facebook group called PTSD Our Place. So we'll talk a bit about that, and it will also take you to links to All Silver Clouds blog. So only the ones, so the whole blog is on the website, but it will only take you to ones where I'm talking about PTSD or mental health. So it's kind of filtered if that's what you're looking for. If you want all the different things I write about, it's actually in the blog. I've also just put the link to our playlist for PTSD videos I've been making on our playlist. So, so on the All Silver Clouds YouTube channel, I talk about decluttering and organising, fitness. I have Raynaud's disease, so I've done a presentation on Raynaud's. I did a presentation on PTSD last year, so that's up as well. But we have our playlist, which has got all my videos, you know, where I'm chatting you know, to you guys and just sitting on the sofa. And so that's all on there. And what you can do there is you can reserve your place for the talks. If you have any troubles at all, just give me an email. So my email is on the website. I put my email on a lot of my Instagram and Facebook posts. I think it probably goes out on Twitter as well. So I don't put everything on Twitter, but I do put quite a few things. So yeah, so I don't want anything to stop you being able to come. So if you are having any trouble with booking a ticket, just let me know, because I can just add you to the list. That's just a way of people being able to, have an event page where they can go and, easily book that in. But if there is any bother, just tell me. I am your host. I'm the queen of the night in terms of all admin, all running around, all organisation. But I also am the host as well. I'm really looking forward to being in conversation with my guests. So yeah, just tell me and we'll sort it out. Okay, I'm going to say it again. I don't know how long I've been talking, but yeah, I think I've covered everything, and I hope to connect with you over the next month and beyond. This isn't just for the month, PTSD awareness is not just for June, it's for life. So anyway, all right, guys, see you soon.